If you're doing any sort of e-commerce type business, you have to take intellectual property into account. It is so important if you're selling goods or services online that you take patents and trademarks and copyrights into consideration. Without these tools, you run the serious risk of running into significant problems through your business. Intellectual property protection in e-commerce is really important because when you have an online store, you have to consider the extent of the market reach. You can have an insanely successful product or service that everybody's going to want to copy. So taking intellectual property into consideration is absolutely crucial to sustaining a thriving business. If you have an e-commerce site, you absolutely need to trademark your name. That's the very, very first thing that you should do. You should not wait to trademark your name for your e-commerce business. One issue that people run into when trademarking is how long it takes to trademark their name or their logo. If you are selling any good or service online, it is crucial that you register your trademark as soon as possible. You might be wondering, what happens if I continue selling my goods or services online without a trademark? There are a number of risks that you'll be running. For example, sometimes people will sell their goods or services online for a long time only to realize later that someone sends them a demand asking them to stop using that name because that other party has been using the name for much longer. So the sooner you're able to engage counsel to do a trademark clearance search and to see what names are available and to also give you an opinion on registrability, the sooner you can file for your trademark and avoid that altogether. Remember, your brand is your number one asset. You don't want to be in the situation where you've been in business for many years and have no registered trademark. Another reason why you want to have a trademark, especially if you have your products on e-commerce sites, is that if your product is successful, for example, if you sell jewelry and you sell a lot of it, people might try to copy you and they might want to copy your name, your slogan, or your logo. Now, if you have a registered trademark, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to send them a cease and desist letter so that they stop using that similar sounding name or similar looking logo. In fact, a lot of e-commerce sites out there will honor the fact that you have a registered trademark. And so if you send a complaint to the e-commerce site, they often will shut down those other competitors that are selling goods having similarly looking brands. There's a lot of very creative ways that you can protect your e-commerce site. For example, if you have your own website, if you have your own domain, then it is possible for you to also trademark the name of the website. So for example, if I was selling jewelry, it could be amirsjewelry.com. I could try to file a trademark application on amirsjewelry.com. All these avenues are different opportunities for you to expand your intellectual property portfolio and further protect your brand. And so these are opportunities that you should seriously take into consideration. Now, there are costs associated, but you have to balance that with the long-term value of your business and the fact that you want to be in business for a long time, most likely. So it's well worth it to spend the money on trying to trademark your name, your logo, the .com, anything where you use the name or the image or the design as a source identifier so that someone seeing it knows it came from you. Now, what's really cool about intellectual property is that you can be very creative with how you protect your business. It is possible to actually obtain a design patent on the layout of your website. So if your e-commerce site has a very unique layout, you could file a design patent application protecting the ornamental features of that layout, of that design. Now, in addition to protecting the logo and the brand, and possibly the layout with design patents, you should also consider protecting the underlying service or good with patents. So, for example, if you are selling jewelry, you might consider getting a design patent on the actual look of the jewelry. Now, if when you're looking at your products, you note that there's something unique that's never been before in the marketplace, you might also consider filing a utility patent application. So a utility patent is going to protect the structure and function of your good or service. So if you provide some sort of product on the market that doesn't exist, that no one's thought of before or published publicly or sold before publicly, then you should definitely consider filing a patent application on that good so that you can also get patent protection. Now, You might ask, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to spend that money? It's a really good idea to do that because if your product is successful, you're going to get a lot of people copying your products. A lot of people will just copy outright and just try to beat you on sales. And so you might see a lot of competitors making the same product. And if you have a patent, it's another piece of arsenal that you can use to combat your competitors and to give you a competitive advantage in the marketplace. A lot of you might also consider just filing for design patent protection if your good looks very unique. Now, the one nice thing about filing design patent applications is that they're a lot cheaper and they tend to get allowed a lot more quickly and with less costs associated with those allowances. So definitely consider filing a design patent application as well. What you have to remember with design patents is that they're not necessarily as strong in terms of the protection that come with them. Design patents only protect the look of something, the ornamental features of a thing. Utility patents protect more. They can potentially protect also the structure and the underlying function. In other words, what a thing is and what a thing does. So utility patents can be a lot stronger. But again, this is why it is essential that if you have an e-commerce business, you absolutely want to discuss with an intellectual property attorney because there might be huge opportunities for you to develop an IP portfolio and to maximally protect your intellectual property. Another really solid tip for all of you that have e-commerce businesses, it's a really good idea to copyright the actual images of the packaging and of the goods that you use on your website. So for example, if you had professional photographs taken of your product that you use for marketing and for selling, say on Amazon, it's a really good idea to copyright those images because what some parties do is they will flat out take your images, copy them, and then use them on their own e-commerce sites. So if you at least have a registered copyright, that will give you more leverage when you are trying to combat people that just flat out copy your images and use them on their own products. Think about it. You are investing time and energy and capital in creating those images for your marketing. And so it's really crucial that you file copyrights to protect those marketing materials. You don't want another party to just copy those materials and use them for their own gain. Copyrights are also very comparatively inexpensive, very inexpensive as compared to trademarks and much cheaper than patents. And so filing copyrights is a really good idea if you're selling any sort of product or service where you're taking original images. If you have an e-commerce site, it is absolutely crucial that you think about all the various ways that you can protect your intellectual property, from filing utility patents on the actual goods or services, design patents on the goods or the layout of your website, to registering trademarks. These are all things that you have to take into consideration. It's absolutely crucial to the longevity of your business and to ensure that competitors don't flat out take your content or your goods or your IP. Remember, this is not legal advice. If you have an online business, it is crucial that you engage an intellectual property attorney so that they can properly guide you through trademark, patent, and copyright issues that they may see.